20 reasons why you should roll for YELAN. Number 1, she has an extremely powerful burst. So if you don't know by now, YELAN's burst is really strong, especially right now in the meta where Hyper Bloom is such a fantastic team to have and play. You definitely know that her burst is extremely strong for the current meta. Number 2, she has many great free-to-play weapons. First bow that I want to talk about is Fading Twilight. It's a really decent bow, and on top of that, it's an event bow which not a lot of people are using. The Favonius War Bow is also such a great option for her, and I would dare say even her best option. The Sacrificial Bow is another fantastic option, and on top of that, you'll get a lot of particles just from using her skill. And because of this, even if you don't have her best in slot, which is her Aqua Simulacra, you can definitely work with many of the 4-star options. Number 2, she has an amazing skill for exploration. So if you don't know by now, YELAN's E basically allows her to traverse terrains really fast without consuming stamina, which in my opinion, it's so handy, especially when you're trying to explore areas, and especially in the desert where it's just vast amount of land and not much places you can go and teleport to. Number 4, she acts like a second XINGQIU. If you ask me, her skill set is pretty much the same as XINGQIU, and her hairstyle is also the same. So if you like XINGQIU's playstyle, which by the way XINGQIU is really strong, then you should definitely get a second one, especially when you're forming teams in Spiral Abyss. Number 5, armpits. I mean, who doesn't like armpits? Number 6, she's actually slightly stronger than C6 XINGQIU. Now if you do the math, you will know that Constellation 0 YELAN is only slightly better than Constellation 6 XINGQIU. If your XINGQIU is not at Constellation 6 and let's say he's at a really low constellation, you can just roll for YELAN, and YELAN is already immediately stronger than your XINGQIU. Number 7, she can use your quote-unquote bad artifacts. Because most of her scaling is HP, you can use these artifacts which are not contested by your other characters for YELAN. Number 8, she is extremely strong with Dendro. So similar to the reason I talked about earlier, right now Hyper Bloom seems to be the best meta team. You would like to have a character that can apply lots of Hydro, and that's where YELAN will come in. And even if you're not going Hyper Bloom, if you're going Burgeon or just standard Bloom, YELAN will do the job just fine. Number 9, she has some AoE in kit. So AoE is basically Area of Effect, where you do a lot of AoE damage. So first of all, it's her skill where she can bind up a bunch of enemies, and second is her charge attack, where if you bind your enemies, can immediately perform a charge attack which will do an AoE amount of hydro damage. Now the damage isn't a lot for the charge attack, but if you're someone who likes to play DPS YELAN, it's quite a lot of damage. Number 10, she enables a mono hydro team. So a mono hydro team is basically when you have one swirl for Viridescent Venerer and you have triple hydro. So without YELAN, this team doesn't really function that well, but now with YELAN XINGQIU and maybe a flex character Kazuha as your Viridescent Venerer and any hydro character as your main DPS hydro, this team is now really decent in the meta. Number 11, this is her first rerun in 7 months, so it's been quite some time since we've seen YELAN, and the last time we seen her was after the drought of Genshin Impact content where we had the Ayaka banner for 200 plus days. Because of this, if you really want a chance to get YELAN, now is a great chance to get her. Number 12, she has a crit rate ascension stat. Now whenever you get crit for an ascension stat, you should be really thankful, because this makes your artifact building process so much easier, because you don't have to worry so much about the crit values, and definitely getting crit rate means you can just focus more on crit damage, which makes your crit stats look so much nicer. Number 13, she has a self-sustainable burst. What I'm talking about in self-sustainable means she doesn't really need a battery to get her burst up all the time. In fact, she can battery herself, especially when you have enough ER and you're using the right weapons. She can definitely always have her burst up every rotation. Number 14, she has insane 4 stars in her banner. So if you take a look at her banner, the 4-star characters are XINGQIU, Ningguang, and Beidou, which are top tier leeway characters, which I talked about in my leeway character video. Now, if you don't have them at higher constellations, I do recommend you get them right now. And what better banner to roll at than in YELAN's banner, which you have XINGQIU and Beidou, especially, which are extremely strong at Constellation 6. Number 15, she has a talent which gives extra rewards in exploration. Not much, but you do gain 25% more rewards when you dispatch her in a leeway expedition. It's not too much, but I would say it does a lot in the long run. Number 16, she steps on people. I mean, don't you want to be stepped on by YELAN? Number 17, she has slight crowd control. Although the crowd control isn't a lot, it does pull in enemies, especially those enemies that can be affected really easily by crowd control. Number 18, she's playable in many teams, so you don't have to always play her in Hyper Bloom. You can play her in a standard Vaporize, and sometimes I also do play her in a Ayaka freeze team where you just spam Ayaka auto attacks, and that's where YELAN's burst comes in play. As you can tell, there are so many teams for YELAN, so please feel free to experiment once you get YELAN herself. Number 19, her passive offers a great support tool. Now, if you don't know her passive, the Adapt with Ease, basically when you use your burst, your current active character deals more damage. So this is just really good, especially as for YELAN, who is a sub DPS. You have some support capability in her kit as well. And the last reason why you should roll for YELAN is for her really underrated voice actor, Aya Endo. So if you don't know who Aya Endo is, she voiced Quetzalcoatl in FGO, and she also voiced the Sword Maiden in Goblin Slayer. So these are just some of the more famous characters, but do check it out, especially if you like the voice actor. You should definitely roll for the character that she voiced in Genshin Impact. And with that concludes today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way. If you like videos like this, feel free to leave a thumbs up. It shows I should be doing more. Comment down below whether you'll be rolling for YELAN or how your YELAN rolls have went if you have rolled for her. And also subscribe. We're gonna be doing more videos like this in the future. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Peace.